Hello there, and welcome to our gentle journey through the world of The Last of Us. Tonight, we'll be revisiting the story of the first season in detail, a tale of survival, connection, and hope in a world forever changed. Make yourself comfortable as we travel alongside Joel and Ellie on their remarkable journey across a transformed America. Let the worries of your day fade away as we immerse ourselves in their story. Our tale begins on September 26th, 2003, in Austin, Texas. Joel Miller, a contractor and devoted father, lives with his teenage daughter Sarah in a modest suburban home. It's Joel's birthday, and despite his long work hours, Sarah has saved up to buy her father a replacement for his broken watch. Their tender father-daughter relationship is evident in their playful banter and comfortable routine. Sarah falls asleep on the couch, waiting for her father to return from work, and Joel carries her to bed, a seemingly ordinary night that would become the last of its kind. In the early hours of the morning, Sarah awakens to an empty house. The television broadcasts emergency alerts. Distant sirens wail. The neighbor's home erupts in violence. When Joel returns with his brother Tommy, he's frantic, covered in blood not his own. Something has gone terribly wrong. People are changing, becoming violent, attacking others. The cordyceps fungal infection has made the leap from insects to humans, spreading rapidly through the population. As they attempt to flee the growing chaos, we witness the collapse of society in real time. Cars crash, buildings burn, infected people pursue others with horrifying speed and aggression. The family almost escapes, but their truck is hit in the mayhem. When they continue on foot, they encounter a soldier who receives orders through his radio. No civilians leave the quarantine zone. He opens fire. Joel shields Sarah with his body, but it's too late. As dawn breaks over a world forever changed, Joel cradles his daughter in his arms as she slips away, her blood staining the watch she gifted him just hours before. 20 years pass, and we find ourselves in a transformed world. The cordyceps infection has claimed most of civilization. Nature reclaims abandoned cities, with buildings crumbling and streets overtaken by vegetation. Surviving humans have adapted to this new reality in different ways. Some live under the authoritarian control of FEDRA, the Federal Disaster Response Agency, in quarantine zones, where ration cards are currency and curfews are enforced with lethal force. Others have joined the Fireflies, a revolutionary group fighting against FEDRA's control, believing in the possibility of restoring democracy and finding a cure. Joel has survived these 20 years, but at great cost to his humanity. Now in his mid-50s, he lives in the Boston quarantine zone, working as a smuggler alongside his partner Tess. They deal in ration cards, weapons, drugs, whatever keeps them alive in this harsh new reality. Joel's eyes have hardened. He sleeps fitfully, haunted by memories he cannot escape. He maintains his routine with mechanical precision: work, eat, sleep, survive, nothing more. In this same quarantine zone lives Ellie Williams, a 14-year-old girl born after the outbreak, who has never known the world as it was before. Orphaned and raised in FEDRA military schools, Ellie is fierce, foul-mouthed, and resilient. Her world consists of propaganda posters, military drills, and dreams of a freedom she's never experienced. Unknown to almost everyone, Ellie carries something remarkable within her: immunity to the cordyceps infection. 3 weeks earlier, while exploring an abandoned mall with her friend Riley, both girls were bitten. Riley succumbed to the infection, but Ellie never turned. The leader of the Fireflies, Marlene, discovers Ellie's immunity and sees in her the potential salvation of humanity. But the Fireflies' laboratory is across the country, in Salt Lake City, and Fedra hunts Firefly members relentlessly. Desperate circumstances lead Marlene to strike a deal with Joel and Tess, smuggle Ellie out of Boston to a Firefly outpost in the Massachusetts State House, in exchange for a substantial cache of weapons and supplies. Joel initially views Ellie as nothing more than cargo, a package to be delivered. The transaction is business, not personal, but when they reach the rendezvous point and find the Fireflies dead, killed by Fedra or infection, their simple job becomes far more complicated. During their journey through Boston's ruins, they encounter infected runners in the early stages of infection, still recognizably human, but consumed by aggression, and clickers, those infected for years whose heads have bloomed into fungal plates, blind but hunting by sound with terrifying precision. In a harrowing encounter within an old museum, Tess is bitten. As Fedra closes in, she makes her final choice, to stay behind and delay the soldiers, giving Joel and Ellie a chance to escape. Save who you can save, she tells Joel, seeing in his reluctant protection of Ellie a chance for redemption. Her sacrifice is the first of many moments that bind Joel and Ellie's fates together, forcing Joel to continue a journey he never wanted with a girl who reminds him too much of what he's lost. Joel decides to seek out his brother Tommy, who once was a Firefly, and might know where to find others who could help Ellie. Their path takes them westward, through the ruins of what was once America. They trek through flooded cities, where the water level has risen to submerge the first floors of buildings, requiring them to navigate by boat between rooftops and through upper floors of hotels and office buildings. Every structure they enter tells silent stories of those who once lived there, abandoned possessions, messages scrawled on walls, evidence of last stands against the infected or desperate measures taken to survive just a little longer. Their journey leads them to Lincoln, Massachusetts, where Joel knows a survivor named Bill, a paranoid but resourceful prepper who owes him a favor. What they discover instead is a poignant epilogue to an unexpected love story. Bill, who had fortified his town with traps and barriers, had found companionship with Frank, an artist who stumbled into one of his traps. Despite their different worldviews, Bill the survivalist, Frank yearning for beauty and connection, they built a life together over the years. Through notes and evidence left behind, Joel and Ellie learned that Frank developed a terminal illness. Rather than suffer a prolonged decline, the couple chose to share one perfect final day together. Marriage vows, a special meal, and a lethal dose of pills in their wine. They died peacefully in each other's arms, leaving behind a letter for Joel with supplies and a working truck. I used to hate the world, and I was happy when everyone died, Bill writes to Joel, but I was wrong, because there was one person worth saving. The truck allows Joel and Ellie to cover more ground, but their relative good fortune is short-lived. In Kansas City, they are ambushed by a group that has overthrown Fedra through violent revolution. The group's leader, Kathleen, hunts collaborators with ruthless determination, seeking vengeance for her murdered brother. Joel and Ellie narrowly escape and take shelter in an abandoned residential building where they encounter Henry and Sam. Henry, a young black man in his 20s, has been hiding with his 8-year-old deaf brother Sam. Henry confesses to Joel that he was forced to betray the location of Kathleen's brother to Fedra to obtain medicine for Sam's leukemia. Now Kathleen wants him dead above all others. For Ellie, Sam represents something she's never had, a friend her own age in this broken world. They communicate through notes and drawings, sharing comic books and childlike moments of play that briefly allow them to forget the horror surrounding them. The four attempt to escape the city together, but their path takes them through a subterranean network of tunnels, where the infected have been contained. In the chaos of their escape, the ground collapses beneath them, releasing a horde of infected into the streets above. Among them is a bloater, a massive fungal armored infected of immense strength. The resulting battle is devastating. Though they escape the immediate danger, Sam is bitten during the struggle. The next morning, the infection takes hold. Sam attacks Ellie and Henry in a moment of protective instinct and subsequent overwhelming despair, shoots his brother and then himself. Joel and Ellie bury them before continuing their journey, now more isolated than ever. Ellie withdraws into silence, processing yet another loss in a life defined by them. Joel, too, struggles with the growing weight of their mission and his increasing attachment to Ellie, despite his best efforts to maintain emotional distance. As autumn gives way to winter, they finally locate Tommy in Jackson, Wyoming. Here exists something remarkable, a functioning community of survivors who have created a semblance of normal life. They have electricity from a hydroelectric dam, communal meals, movie nights, children playing without fear. Tommy has found peace here, along with a new wife, Maria, who is expecting their child. Seeing this life, this future, terrifies Joel. His growing affection for Ellie represents vulnerability, the possibility of loss he cannot bear to face again. In a tense conversation with Tommy, Joel attempts to pass his responsibility to his brother, claiming Ellie would be better off without him. "I've got some nightmares I'm not quite done having," he tells Tommy, a rare admission of the trauma that still haunts him. But when danger threatens and they are separated, Joel realizes the truth. He cannot abandon Ellie. When they reunite, something has shifted between them. Though neither acknowledges it openly, they have become family to each other. Their search continues to the University of Eastern Colorado, where the Fireflies were rumored to have a laboratory. Instead, they find only an abandoned facility, with monkeys running free from former experiments. A dying message indicates the Fireflies have relocated to Salt Lake City. As they prepare to leave, they are attacked by scavengers. In the violent confrontation, Joel is gravely wounded, impaled on a broken metal bar. Though they escape, his condition rapidly deteriorates. Ellie finds them shelter in an abandoned mountain community as winter deepens. In a reversal of their roles, she now must care for Joel, hunting for food and searching for medicine as he burns with fever from his infected wound. Her inexperience is matched only by her determination. She manages to shoot a deer, but struggles to bring the meat back before it's claimed by other survivors. These survivors are led by David, a soft-spoken man who initially seems kind, offering to trade medicine for some of the deer meat. What Ellie doesn't know is that David leads a community driven to desperation by the harsh winter. They have resorted to cannibalism, hunting other survivors for food. David recognizes Ellie's companion as the man who killed several of his group at the university, but keeps this knowledge to himself, seeing in Ellie someone he can manipulate and eventually control. While Ellie is absent, David's men locate the house where Joel is recovering. Ellie leads them away, but is eventually captured and caged like an animal. David reveals his true nature. Behind his gentle demeanor lies a predator who has maintained control over his frightened community through religious manipulation and calculated violence. He sees something special in Ellie, offering her a place at his side rather than on his dining table. His implied intentions toward her are unmistakably sinister. Meanwhile, Joel has regained enough strength to search for Ellie. He captures and tortures two of David's men to learn her location, revealing the depths of brutality he will descend to for her sake. As a snowstorm rages, Ellie escapes her cage only to be cornered by David in the community's dining hall. As he hunts her through the burning building, Ellie's fear transforms into primal rage. When she finally overcomes him, her attack is frenzied, unrelenting, the culmination of every trauma and loss she has endured. It is Joel who finds her, covered in blood, still striking David's lifeless body. He pulls her away, holding her close and calling her baby girl, the same endearment he once used for Sarah. In this moment, the transformation of their relationship is complete. They are no longer reluctant traveling companions, but family, forged in fire.
Spring brings renewal as they finally reach Salt Lake City. The city has been reclaimed by nature in beautiful and surprising ways. In one of the journey's most breathtaking moments, Ellie encounters a giraffe living wild among the overgrown ruins. Her childlike wonder at this magnificent creature reminds us that she is still just a girl, one who has never seen zoo animals except in tattered books. Joel watches her joy with a bittersweet recognition. This is what childhood should be, moments of wonder rather than constant struggle and fear. As they near the hospital, Joel speaks to Ellie about their future. For the first time, he imagines life beyond their mission, suggesting he could teach her guitar back at Tommy's settlement. There is tentative hope in his words, the possibility of something they have both been afraid to want, a home, a future together. Ellie, consumed by the weight of her immunity and what it might mean for the world, responds distantly. She has carried survivor's guilt since Riley's death, questioning why she alone was spared, while everyone around her succumbs to infection or violence. Before they can reach the hospital, they must cross a flooded area. Ellie, never having learned to swim, falls into the rushing water. Joel dives in after her without hesitation, pulling her unconscious form from the current. As he desperately performs CPR, Firefly patrollers discover them. Joel's last conscious thought is of Ellie's still form as he's struck from behind. He awakens in a hospital room with Marlene watching over him. She explains that Ellie is being prepared for surgery. The Firefly doctors believe the cordyceps in Ellie has mutated, and to create a vaccine, they must remove it from her brain, a procedure that will kill her. Ellie has not been told the truth. She never regained consciousness after the near drowning. She would want this, Marlene insists, having known Ellie since birth through her friendship with Ellie's mother Anna. But for Joel, the choice is unbearable, yet simple. A world with the possibility of a cure, but without Ellie, is no world he wants to live in. He demands to see her. When Marlene refuses and orders him escorted out of the hospital, something breaks within him. What follows is not heroism, but desperation. Joel fights through the hospital, killing Firefly soldiers and doctors alike. He carries Ellie's unconscious form from the operating room, still in her surgical gown. In the parking garage, Marlene confronts him one final time, appealing to what Ellie would want, to the greater good. Joel shoots her, then again, as she lies wounded, ensuring there will be no pursuit. When Ellie finally awakens in the backseat of a car, Joel tells her a story. Raiders attacked the hospital. The Fireflies have stopped looking for a cure. There were other immune people like her, but nothing came of it. It's a tapestry of lies woven to protect her from a truth he cannot bear, for her to know that he chose her life over the possibility of saving humanity. As they approach Tommy's settlement in Wyoming, Joel elaborates on his deception with details about the hospital, about being in a coma-like state while the doctors ran tests. His lies flow more easily now, practiced during the drive from Salt Lake City. Ellie listens in silence, absorbing his words with an unreadable expression. On a ridge overlooking Tommy's community, Ellie stops. The journey's physical toll is evident, a scar on her arm from the bite that didn't transform her, another on her brow from her fight with David. But the emotional wounds run deeper. She speaks of Riley, Tess, Sam, all lost to the infection that she somehow survived. I'm still waiting for my turn, she says, a confession of the guilt that has haunted her throughout their journey. Then comes the moment of truth. She asks Joel to swear that everything he told her about the hospital and the Fireflies is true. There is a weight to her question, a space where honesty might live, where the complicated truth of their journey together might be acknowledged. Joel looks at her, this girl who has become his daughter in all but blood, and makes his choice. I swear, he tells her, sealing their future with a lie born of love and fear. Ellie studies his face for a long moment. What does she see there? Does she recognize the lie? Does she choose to believe it because the alternative is too painful? Or does she simply accept that this is the cost of not being alone in this broken world? Whatever passes through her mind, she responds with a single word: okay. And so ends the first chapter of their story, not with triumph or clear resolution, but with a complicated truth about what we sacrifice for those we love, and how hope can exist alongside deception. Joel has found purpose again in protecting Ellie, and Ellie has found family in Joel. Their bond, forged through unspeakable hardship and trauma, offers them a chance at something like happiness in a world where such things are rare and precious. As you drift toward sleep, consider how in even the darkest circumstances, human connection remains our greatest strength and our most profound vulnerability. In a world broken beyond repair, Joel and Ellie found each other, and that perhaps is enough of a miracle. Good night and sweet dreams. May your journey, like theirs, lead you to people worth fighting for.